Hello, my friends. So today I'm back working on my sweater design, and I am at the computer. As you can see, here's my computer, and you are looking at my spreadsheet for the sweater. And I did a tab of top down and another tab of bottom up. And I've got all my measurements. So this is the row that's bust measurement. That's the first one we're starting with. And then my stockinette stitch gauge. And down here, because this is where the color work happens when we're working bottom up, is my color work gauge. And so using this information and various measurements, I can calculate the different numbers I need for the different sizes. Now, to be honest, I started with the top-down spreadsheet and some basic understanding of things, and then I got a little turned around, so I ended up going to my bottom-up spreadsheet, working everything out there, and it made more sense to me. Now, normally I work from, row 1 of a spreadsheet down as many rows as I need. With this one, I did that, but now when I'm writing the pattern, I'm going to be working from the bottom up, which will make it top down. So I then switched over to just a Word document type of thing. This is Google Docs actually, and you can see that I have got the basics of my pattern here. So sometimes I just dive in once I've got my gauge going, but this time I really decided to work it all out. This is written only for one size right now, for my size, and actually I've already discovered a few things where I did not do it right. So luckily, hold on, I'm just pulling out my trusty notebook, which many of you know well, and I printed out the pattern, and I grabbed a red pen already. And I had already discovered a few things that were either just wrong or that I wanted to make an adjustment on. So that, I basically have a top-down sweater pattern here. And the reason I have some notes on there is because, of course, I got started. So hold on, and I will show you. Oh, look at all those floats. So there we are. There are my pine boughs. And I've started the second set, so I've done 2 sets of increases. I did some short rows, which are here, that will be at the back to raise the back of the neck so that it's a little higher. And as you can see from this pink yarn, I started provisionally. I think I want to make it a roll neck, but I have found that casting on for the roll neck ends up with that cast on edge being too tight no matter how loose I do it, if I use a bigger needle, blah, 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 blah. So for whatever reason, I can control my bind off better. So what I'm going to do is at the end, go back, pick up the stitches from here, knit probably an inch or so, see how it's rolling, and then bind it off gently and loosely so that it will go comfortably over my head. So from here, I'm going to be basically doing a bunch of knitting, which is the fun part. But I am going to also have to get my hand-drawn charts, which are here in the notebook, as you can see. And I'm going to need to get them into, I'll do them in InDesign. And what I will do is set up a table in InDesign. And I know a lot of people use Stitch Mastery, and I feel like there's another charting software that is very popular, and I understand how people like that. I like having full control over everything in the chart, so I can change my color, I can change my size. I just, for me, and I'm an art director and a graphic designer, so I've been using InDesign and Quick Express and PageMaker for I think decades. So for me, that's where I like to have my charts. I just have the most control over them, and it's easy to place them in the layout because they're already in design. So knitting and chart making are really next, and continuing to make sure that what I've written on that piece of paper works construction wise, and then I'll go back and add in the rest of the sizes once I'm sure that everything's going to work in a sensible way. Then I'll do the rest of it. I mean, it's all graded already. The spreadsheet. Let's go to the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet has it all. I'm working this size. Oftentimes I will actually do a fill so that I know which size I'm working on, which I find very helpful actually. And so all of this information will end up in the pattern, and it'll be worked from here up rather than my usual here down, or so I hope. So that is the plan, and so tomorrow hopefully I'll have more knitting to show, and maybe I'll have the chart done by then. So we'll see how that all goes. It would be good to have the chart in a nice paper form where I can make any other kind of scribbles and adjustments as necessary. So that's it for today. In terms of what I've been working on, I had a few questions from folks on Instagram. Christine wanted to know if the yarn was non-superwash, and that is indeed the case. Biches et Bouches Le Petit Lamb's wool is like a woolen spun, fine 2-ply. Let's see if I can sort of show you how fine the yarn is. Those are the 2 strands. They're pretty thin, but they definitely fluff up, as you may have seen from my swatch, which I can't quite lay my hands on right now. And so what I like is the loftiness, and that the yarn holds a lot of air. So this will be a lightweight sweater, but I think it'll also be very cozy, at least, especially the part where you have the stranding. The other question was why I was designing a colorwork sweater, and I had to say I've just been seeing colorwork sweaters everywhere in my feed, on Ravelry and out in the world, at Rhinebeck, and there are a lot of very handsome ones. There are great designs out there, but most of them didn't speak to me. So I decided to give it a shot, and find some stitch patterns that I liked, that I wanted to see out in the world. So that's really why I decided to do this. And I also kind of needed a little challenge, a knitting challenge. I've had a lot of publishing challenges with I Knit Paris and stuff like that. So it was sort of time for a little bit of a knitting challenge. And so this seemed it. Next thing you know, I'll be doing like extreme double knitting and steeking and what else haven't I done? Brioche. So no, I probably will do some then some more, maybe some lace, maybe some cables. Those are where I'm at. I've had a lot of thoughts about beads lately. So, but for now, I'm totally into this color work, and I really want to get through my second set of pine boughs so that I can get onto that swirly flower pattern that I've got ready for me. So that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully showing you some flowers and probably some charts. So thanks for stopping by. Take care. Bye.